Hey, you. Glad you're back. Now, put the dinner roll down for a second. A parrot has filed a formal complaint. Apparently, every single thing you know about pirates you got from a Disney movie and a 300-year-old skeleton is extremely tired of it. So, without further ado, here's 20 pieces of pirate nonsense and you need to stop spreading at the dinner table. And I'm front loading the best ones, so don't you dare scrub away. Number 1. Walking the plank basically never happened. There's almost no real evidence of it during the actual golden age of piracy. It's fiction, made famous by books and movies because a guy slowly tiptoeing off a board is more cinematic than the truth, which is that pirates would just throw you over. No plank, no drum roll. You simply had a sudden and very brief swimming career. Number 2. Pirate ships were democracies. Genuine ones. The crew voted for the captain and could vote him right back out if he was bad at the job or a coward. They had written constitutions, actual signed articles, dividing loot and laying down rules. While kings ruled Europe by God said so, a boat full of criminals was out here running elections. And hold on to that, because number 11 makes this even weirder. Number 3, they had workers' comp. I'm serious. Those written articles often listed exact payouts for injuries. Lose a right arm, you gotta set some, an eye or a finger, a smaller one. A violent gang of thieves had disability insurance roughly 2 centuries before your employer figured it out. Let that ruin your next HR meeting. Number 4, buried treasure is almost entirely made up. Pirates did not bury chests of gold and draw maps with a big X. There's basically one famous case people stretch into a whole genre. The chests, the maps, X marks the spot. That's a novel. Treasure Island, 1883. You've been quoting a Robert Louis Stevenson book and calling it history. Number 5. Pirate crews were often shockingly diverse and freer than the legal world around them. Many included escaped enslaved men and freed black sailors, sometimes a large share of the crew, working and voting alongside everyone else. A pirate ship could be more equal than the respectable society hanging them for it. Sit with that one. Number 6, they did not all say "R." Nobody historically went,
"Ooh, are, matey."
We'll get to exactly where that came from. It's number 15, and it's dumber than you think. But for now, just know, real pirates did not talk like a pirate. Number 7, the skull and crossbones wasn't the only flag, and it wasn't the scariest one. Flags varied by captain, and the black flag actually meant surrender and you might live. The one you really didn't want to see was the plain red flag. That meant no mercy, no survivors. Somehow, the boring red one was the nightmare. Number 8, the Golden Age was incredibly short. The iconic Caribbean pirate era you picture lasted roughly a single decade. The entire cultural empire of pirate movies, rides, costumes, and cereal mascots is built on about 10 years of actual history. 10 years. Number 9. They mostly didn't want to fight. A sea battle wrecks the ship and cargo you came to steal. The whole flag and terror system existed to make you give up without a fight. Pirates were less bloodthirsty maniacs and more extremely aggressive customer service. Number 10. The loot was usually boring, not chests of gold. It was cloth, food, rope, medicine, tools, booze, ship supplies. The dream haul was often bandages. You've been romanticizing what is essentially a violent hardware store robbery at sea. Number 11, and here's the payoff I promised. Pirates had something like an early insurance and pension pool, and a voting system, and written law while being, on paper, the worst people alive. The most lawless men in history were quietly running a tighter constitution than half the actual governments of the time. Keep that loaded for Uncle Dave. Number 12. Blackbeard probably killed far fewer people than his reputation. His terror was theater. He reportedly stuck slow-burning fuses in his beard and hat so he'd loom out of smoke looking like the devil, It was branding. He was a marketing genius with a boat. And speaking of marketing, number 15 is the biggest con of all. Stay with me. Number 13, female pirates were real. Anne Bonny and Mary Red fought alongside the men, and there were almost certainly more whose names we lost. The no women on ships idea is another rule that got broken by people far more interesting than the rule. Number 14. The ships ran on strict rules, not chaos. Lights out at a set time, no fighting on board, no gambling for some cruise, disputes settled on land. The floating party in your head was, administratively, closer to a slightly stabby HOA. Number 15. The pirate voice, the me hearties. Here's the truth, and it is gloriously stupid. It was invented by one actor in 1950 for a Disney movie. A British actor named Robert Newton played Long John Silver in Disney's Treasure Island, and he leaned hard into his thick West Country English accent, rolling every R into oblivion. People loved it so much that every pirate impression for the next 75 years just copied him. So, the definitive sound of all pirates across all of history is actually one guy from Southwest England doing a bit in 1950. Every R you've ever heard traces back to a single performance. You are not impersonating a pirate. You are impersonating Robert Newton badly. Number 16. The eye patch to keep one eye ready for the dark below deck. That clever explanation you've heard 100 times has zero historical evidence. It's a modern guess that went viral. So, the fun fact correcting the myth is itself a myth. It's myths all the way down, and dinner is ruined. Number 17. A lot of pirates were technically legal. Governments handed out letters of marque turning sailors into privateers. State-sponsored robbery with paperwork. The only difference between a hero and a pirate was often which king was currently signing the form. Number 18. Pieces of 8 weren't pirate slang. They were real Spanish silver dollars, literally cut into 8 pieces to make change. A bit was 1 piece. That's why Americans still say 2 bits. Your grandma's expression is pirate currency. Number 19. The parrot on the shoulder, peg leg, hook hand starter pack is mostly theater too. Exotic animals were valuable resale cargo, sure, but the iconic shoulder parrot, also basically Long John Silver, that man fictionally invented half your costume. Number 20, most pirates were just sailors. Underpaid, abused men from brutal navy and merchant ships who looked at a system that treated them like garbage and chose the boat with elections and injury pay. It wasn't a love of evil. It was honestly a really aggressive career change. Nearly everything that makes pirates fun, the plank, the accent, the treasure map, the parrot, was written for you by Hollywood long after the last one hanged. Strip the costume off, and what's left isn't a cartoon. It's a few thousand desperate people who built a fairer little world on a stolen ship than the one that drove them to it, and we turned them into a theme park ride. Anyway, that's all for today. Go correct a relative. Till next time. Thanks for watching.